drop that music, my God, I'll blast us out of here. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Had a guy on Facebook just now say, because Melissa puts out these videos. She puts out our promotional videos and stuff. And and a guy said, it was like, listen to ACT. And he was like, I haven't listened since Dan cursed me out and unfriended me. The cursing out part I will give you. Maybe I did that. Possible.
Really?
Totally
curse
possible.
about?
I don't think I did. But unfriending, that's not a thing. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't unfriend people.
It's too much work.
I wouldn't unfollow you. I wouldn't unfriend you. And that's something that you told me not to do. And I'm like, yeah, I like his. I told you that actively. I said, I like his take on that. I'm not going to block you or unfriend you.
No, me neither. I don't think I've
choose
ever
not
done
to
that.
interact with you anymore. So
unless you send me like naked photos or like
that's-
try to hack into my bank.
That's a little different.
Attacking you.
That's
I'm
different.
just saying.
That's different.
But saying opinions that I don't agree with, I never unfriend
Me
those
neither.
people because I want to know, because I
Correct.
feel
I
I
think
feel
he's
like
right on that. I
I'm
think he's
putting
right on that.
myself in a bubble, and people do that. Like, I don't
I
like
agree.
this person.
I disagree with
and then
that
all of a sudden
too.
you're like, now I see only things I like.
Exactly.
You're like,
Yeah.
I think that harms you.
And
you
you're
need to see
supposed
everything.
to be able to tolerate
yeah.
different opinions and know different people. It makes you think. It's critical thinking. It
Correct.
makes you grow. Yeah.
So I love his take on that. So
Me too.
When you say that though, when you get half of it wrong, I'm like, I don't think that happened. If I had to guess what happened, he probably sent me something that was like edgy critique. Like, fuck you, that show sucked. And I was like, well, fuck you. Okay, is that cursing you out? Yeah, I guess technically it is. But if somebody comes at me and says like, you're unfunny, that was stupid, blah, 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 with such negative energy, you might get a go fuck yourself from me.
Yeah,
I
fair
think,
enough.
because I'm going to try and go with something. I'm going to match the energy maybe.
I'm gonna mark that. I'm gonna stamp that healthy.
I'm not proud of it.
communication.
I'm not saying I'm proud of it, right?
No, it's not a big
But
deal.
it is probably more my first reaction than it would be other people's.
It's
I know it's
human.
more than Tom's.
Yeah, it's human.
All right.
If someone comes at you, I mean, that's the whole thing, right? How people come at you can really precipitate how the response you get, which is why it's nice to express yourself clearly and kindly.
Yeah.
But to also give this guy some grace with what we do, he may have thought he was just doing what we do.
That's
and
true.
I didn't receive the message correctly, and I hit him with the wrong energy. That's possible too.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Tom, would you like to begin like you always do? We've got a double, guys, so strap in.
All right.
All right, here we go. 3, 2.
I'm not going to introduce the show like I normally do
I like that.
because I realized
I like that.
I listened to the podcast for the first time, and Dan Stone says, welcome to Love Thy Neighbor, a relationship show.
Yeah.
And then I've been saying, welcome to it's a double Love Thy
No,
Neighbor.
you kind of do like, it's Love Thy Neighbor, the relationship show. I see nothing wrong with it, but I also see nothing wrong with you pulling it out.
Well, it's already been said.
It has, but traditional radio talk would say that you could do it, so the presentation is going to land well on the ears, but is it necessary? No. So both things can be correct.
I just like the repetition of it, and
It's real. It's old school. It's very old school to do that.
Anyway, welcome to Love Thy Neighbor, a relationship show. I can't start unless I do that. Colette Fair's on the couch with us. How you doing, Colette?
I'm here. I'm great. I'm so happy to be back in Florida.
Yeah, well, welcome back.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about your travels here in a second. Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah.
I'm here, and I can start introducing myself to. This guy does everything over here.
No,
Lighten him up, lighten the load a little bit.
So, Colette, where were you?
So I did a little media tour. I went to Atlanta. I did Washington, D.C., but those segments won't come out till Christmas Eve and New Year's Day. And then I went to Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, and my mom came to meet me for 24 hours. So I did the news there. And then my mom and I had a little mother-daughter holiday celebration.
Okay, all
Hey.
right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So she she lives here or no, up north?
No, she until a couple of months ago has lived in New York in the house I grew up in.
Okay.
But she just moved to California where my brother lives. So now she's on the West Coast, and I don't see her as much. New York is so easy from Florida, which is why we're invaded with New Yorkers.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can say this as a New Yorker.
Now, when you said invaded,
Yes, we're
I
everywhere.
got ready.
Ruining Florida,
Florida's
driving up
just-
prices.
yeah, why does everybody invade Florida? The plants invade Florida. The animals invade Florida.
Florida should start invading New York. Like we get there, we're like, oh God, we don't know what's happening. Like,
Too busy.
like,
Too
so
many rats,
Yeah.
too cold.
There's
Not
no
gonna
boiled
happen.
peanuts.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
It's cold and expensive up here. Gah!
Which
Anyway.
is exactly why everyone's coming in this
Yeah, I know.
direction.
Also, you may not know it, but the correct response, like Tom said, is gall. You don't put anything on the end of that. It's a wide open GA all the way.
And there's so many different kinds of people
I
here.
know.
I can't even know where
Yeah.
you're from.
What kind of hat is that?
I know.
Florida man. I mean, Florida has it's funny. People have weird reactions to Florida. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
They
whenever
hate it.
you travel. Yeah,
Most
they-
comedians that
they
come in
hate
here,
us.
they love to give us. They're like, oh, you guys are a bunch of doofuses, and you sleep with your family. And
That's
I'm like,
that's nonsense.
Maybe.
like we're redneck losers or something.
Yeah.
That's nonsense media narrative that's been
Spread around.
Yeah. That of course that's what the joke is. But I think when people get here, they're like, oh, pretty good.
yeah.
It's a great
Yeah.
life here. I love it here.
Yeah,
I
a lot of the
really-
same comedians that bag on it will retire here.
Right.
Okay.
Everybody makes fun of Florida and then they want to live here.
Yeah, no, I know. Because our weather's always nice. The beaches are close. There's some space. It's
And the
like
beer's always cold.
yeah.
I love it. The only thing I don't love the intense heat of the summer. Who
Yeah.
does? It gets a little oppressive. And I wish there was more outdoorsy stuff you could do for half the year. Like I wish there was more hike. When you go out west, there's mountains and you know what I mean? They have a lot of cool things you can do. And I'm not even outdoorsy, but I wish we had more of that.
I will. I'll teach you, Colette, because I know a lot of outdoor
He
stuff
does.
in Florida.
He
That,
does.
like
I don't
hidden
want to go
gems.
camping or anything.
No. There's
I'm
like
just
some.
saying.
He knows some of the most boring and longest Florida walks he will ever be on. If you want some boring Florida walks, that's your
You
guy.
know what? We should do a love thy neighbor from my boat one day.
Oh my God, we should.
Well, hold
Yeah,
on. We
my
have to
boat's-
bring her husband along so it doesn't look weird. You know,
No,
I've seen
no.
those videos before.
No, we'll bring.
I've seen Captain Stabbin.
Well, I'll take you up the St. John's River in my boat, and we'll talk relationships in a weird show.
I love it.
It's Love Thy Neighbor, but now it smells everywhere. Yeah, it
With alligators in the
Yeah.
background.
Stinks
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a swamp
yeah.
out
But
here.
that's the thing. There isn't a ton that's like pretty that way here. That's my only quibble. But I have to say, every year I'm always like, I want cold weather. It's the holidays. It doesn't feel Christmassy. And then I go places that have cold weather and I'm like, I do not want this never again. Like, it makes me realize there is no way I could live in a cold climate. I don't want, it was 20 degrees in Atlanta. It was like 9 degrees in New York. It's miserable. We're so lucky. We're so lucky.
The oppressive.
Oh, the relationship giant is here. Come on in, guy.
Oh, back
Sorry,
to hammering.
Yeah, I was trying to do improv. Or so. I did,
All right.
That was like a children's show, and that was a cartoon giant coming in.
So let's.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't, I'm weird enough without, I need clarifications.
So let's get on track
Yeah.
because we have a ton of emails.
We do.
A lot of them have to do with Christmas. It's a stressful time of year. We talked a little bit about it last time, but people are more stressed and
So stressed.
Their relationships get stressed. You get stressed with family relationships
Yes.
because everybody has to commingle and then you have to pretend to be happy. I say
You're right. and
You're
I'm-
really projecting hard.
But this
hard
is true.
details.
And
hard
I'm
details.
so glad we're going to talk about this because all this travel I just did, all these media segments were about this exact topic. And everybody I talked to on the plane, in restaurants, I met a lot of people because I'm always chatting with people. And I said what I was doing. Everybody said, oh my God, I am so stressed out. I am not having fun. The holidays do not feel light and joyful. They feel like financial
Are you
pressure.
reading my first email?
You see?
No, seriously.
Okay, this-
seriously.
right,
like
this
here,
is
do you
how
want me
every-
to?
yes,
yeah,
let's
let me
do it,
throw her
'cause
right
this
at
is
you
how
because
everyone feels.
It's literally like what, like she's reading it from the page, and you have not seen these, and they're all
No.
anonymous. Hello at lovethyneighborshow.com. We had so many that I actually had to compile them and actually pick and choose. My wife and I have been together for a very long time. We're fine most of the year. December messes us up. Every plan feels heavier. Every should turns into a fight. This year, she wants to host, decorate, and invite everyone in the family. I want none of that. I don't want to ruin her joy, but I also don't want to pretend I'm someone I'm not for a month straight. Is compromise always supposed to feel this expletive?
Wow, I want to know what the particular expletive was.
Is like the F word with
Yeah.
and then a bunch of others.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh my God, yeah, it's so hard, right? Because there's the
It's a solid F word email.
I love it. I love it. And it brings it to life just how awful it feels to be stuck in that place where you don't want to compromise yourself and what really feels like it's important for your mental health, but then you have a partner who wants something really different. These are hard situations. First of all, I do think the holidays, the shoulds, of entertaining and decorating and gift giving creates so much legitimate mental strife. It's not just annoying, stressful. It actually really like hurts. People are not doing well at this time of the year. So I think we need to acknowledge that, because every time I'm talking to people about the fact that I talk about this, people start to open up and are telling me things like this email. Now, I'd want to know, what have they talked about? Like, has he expressed this to the, is it a wife? Is it a wife? Does he say?
Without giving away too much.
Yeah, girlfriend,
It's
wife.
it's a man writing.
It's a man,
Yeah.
right? Okay, I
Yeah,
figured.
yeah.
How did I just know that? Okay.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I could have guessed that out
Yeah.
for the first sentence.
Yeah.
No, but I want to know, has he shared how he feels with his wife?
And that's always the hardest part, right? Because
Right.
traditionally, we don't, unless you're me. You know, like I'm an exception to the rule. And it's not even the most easy thing for me to do, but it does come easier with me than most of my contemporaries that I meet.
But Colette, we don't want to ruin it for them, because if we tell them
That's
how
an
grumpy
honest
we are,
answer.
and we tell them how much we were like, we start questioning, why are we doing all this? Like, well, there's all this family. Why are you hosting? Why
Right.
are why is it
Right.
our responsibility? Why is we have
How
to
does that
travel?
help?
Why
How
do,
does saying that help?
why do we have to bring the
I
kids
don't
and
know.
travel to your parents' house or whatever? It's a
Oh,
lot of
I've
that.
got that email coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You're reading
so
my
And then,
email
and then she's like, "Go quit putting more stress on me. We have to do it. And you being grumpy about it doesn't help the situation. Just put on a happy face and
I've
get
heard
to
that.
work."
I've heard that before. I've
I
heard
know.
both of those before.
I'm just
I
saying what
think
other people feel.
Yeah, no, I think you're speaking for a lot of people, but there's a middle ground there between, like, you're almost grumpy in a way because you feel like you're not allowed to feel how you feel. And when you say, like, I don't want to put this on her or ruin her thing, this is where I think a lot of people go wrong, that almost can get into codependency. So you're not putting anything on anyone by telling the truth about how you feel about something, especially if you're nice about it. To say, look, maybe you have to go at the end of the day, but maybe you don't. Maybe there are a million different slight compromises that acknowledge both people's feelings and needs that you never get to if you don't put it out there. So what if you said, honey, I know you're so excited about this. The last thing I want to do is stress you out, but I just want to let you know I'm feeling really, really overwhelmed right now. The thought of going to, so-and-so's house or having 40 people over Friday night just like feels like too much. Like, I have chest pains. I'm really struggling. I'm not saying no, but can we talk about this a little bit? How important is this to you? It also goes back to my litmus test of what we call in psychology a Likert scale, asking your partner on a scale of 1 to 10, which is a Likert scale, how important is this to you? Is this a 10 or is this a 3? Because if it really, really matters so much that we have these 10 couples over Friday night, then maybe I am going to push myself to do it. But what I don't want people to do is not acknowledge how they feel about it. That's the mistake. It's like, I'll ruin someone else's fun if I say how I feel. No, you won't. That's over functioning for somebody else. You're just telling the truth about your own experience, and then the two of you can decide based on how you both feel. Does that even make sense the way I'm
Yes,
explaining
it
it?
does.
Did our eyes glaze over? Because that
No.
is because we're dealing with some
Yeah,
adult
I'm
type
like,
stuff
I
here,
know.
right? This is-
Tom and Dan are
Yeah.
exiting the building.
No,
this
no,
is
no.
some
Getting
big boy.
too
No,
mature.
we were trying to be quiet and get the information out because that's what people want.
All this makes sense, but I will say that there's another component. And let me ask you if this is healthy, because I most of what I do is not healthy mentally, physically, anything. But so there.
We don't even know what health is.
So I will say that, and tell me if this is right, Colette, that maybe the wife or the partner that wants to do all these things and has the Christmas cheer, and then the other partner's the Grinch, let's say.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just got to let the Grinch be the Grinch.
I agree.
And just know that and then, because a lot of times the Grinch, just like the real Grinch, he's Grinching it the whole time, right? Because he don't want to do all this work.
This
and
is the
travel.
Levin theory, right?
But then-
Isn't that what this is? You got to give yourself space to be
But-
the authentic who you are,
but-
right?
Yes, and you have to, like, I think the mature part is that you're allowed to not be excited about it, but if you also have to consider, as a relational being, forget your relationship with your wife. I mean a relational
want to
being
so bad.
that we are all in this world, that we have impact on other people. So what I would say is, if you're going to go to an event, Don't act like you're dragged there. You're an adult. You're making a decision. You can say no. Perhaps you don't choose to. Everybody has agency, and we have more agency than we think. So let's say you choose to go to something that you're not excited about. I do this all the time. I'm very transparent. If I don't like something, you're going to see it all over my face. As I mature, I've had to work on myself to say, let me not go into this and be a sourpuss or a total bitch where I ruin the activity for everyone else. So you don't have to be excited about it, but I do think we need to consider how our behavior impacts other people. So if you're grinchy inside, maybe you don't have to be a jerk and make everybody else miserable because you chose to go there.
Yeah, sometimes you got to Grinch slap your face in the trunk. Or
I'm going to Grinch slap them Grinches. Sorry.
Or in your car before you get out, and then just so you're like, hey, don't walk into the house with this Grinchy face.
Yeah, give yourself a Grinch slap.
You're allowed to not be happy about it, but you also don't have to be a dick and ruin everyone's fun.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to hide it. You got to put in the work. Now, I will say on the other end, there's another maybe unhealthy thing to do. As the partner that wants the Christmas cheer and makes the other partner do a lot of work that they may not want to do,
asking for a friend.
I know, right?
Sometimes
it's so
he's like that theoretical person out there.
Insanely blatantly obvious.
Sometimes
like he's pretending to hold a piece of paper to read the email. It's not even a piece of paper in his hand.
If your wife may say, "Listen, I know you got to do a bunch of work, got to do a bunch of loading, got to drive far, got to do a bunch of put on a happy face and talk to the family,
be dancing to Santa 305,
and drink the eggnog and do all that. I will reward you after the holidays for a handsome reward.
Yeah.
You know what that means, and all this work will not be for nothing, and you'll get a reward if you put on a happy face. You do what I want, and then sometimes the Grinch will be like, all right,
yeah, but that's the.
Or I know something's gonna grow 5 times bigger.
Yeah, more like 2 times bigger. Come on.
Really? Like
who are you talking about?
A half bigger.
It's not like you're Marshawn Grinch. You're Tom.
They don't even grow really. Anyway, so
I'm pretty proud of Marshawn Grinch.
Can you offer your partner a reward that makes them like, all right, at least I know I'm getting something after? Is that throwing that out there make a difference? Because I know
she looks repulsed a little bit.
I know
She's clutching her pearls a little bit on this.
If I know I'm going to get paid after, I will put on a happy face, and then I'll think about that. I'm like, hey, I'm doing this for something.
Yeah, but oh, man.
I just think you don't want to do too much of that. Here's the catch. I mean, obviously, I think what we're on here is that men will do anything for sexual favors. Right?
Yeah. I'm looking at you, University of Michigan. Men will flush their entire collegiate coaching careers down the toilet.
Is it not so true?
For ladies.
I'm not.
I said that to my wife. Andrew
Bill
doesn't believe that.
Bill Belichick.
This is for the animals out there, not me, Colette. I'm not a monster.
You were, though. Still have the dog tag.
I mean, I just think I want to encourage even men. I get it. And everybody's got their own relationship balance and things you do. You've been together a long time. There are moments where we have to suck it up, all of us. Right?
I see what you did there.
There's a big family, and you have to go for a day, and you're not going to love it. And your wife's like, just put on a happy face, and you'll be rewarded later. Okay, fine. But I'm just going to suggest that if you're doing that all the time, and then you end up being grumpy and whatever, that you're probably not really being that true to yourself. And even for men, I think this is important. Maybe there's a part of you that would rather the sex that's coming on the other side, but there's a part of you going you're not advocating for your own needs there. It really is okay to say no, even in your marriage, even to your parents. You can say no clearly and nicely. It is your job to take care of yourself. I've gotten better and better at this age about saying, you know what, I'm not going to go to this place for 5 days because it isn't going to be good for my mental health, and I'm not going to be nice, and it's not going to be fun.
What about just saying, is it okay to say it's just not what I want to do? Is that okay?
Yes.
Because I think that's the one where people get tripped up. I know Tom does.
Yes.
I know I do even too. I'm certainly, just admittedly, I think in my family more selfish than he is, just by the way I'm wired.
But see, it's not even selfish. This is the problem, I think, in our society, is that we're calling all of this selfish.
Okay.
Again, I'm not saying never consider anybody or do something nice for someone, certainly, but it isn't selfish to say, hey, I don't really want to do that. and not have to have an excuse. It doesn't have to be a mental health crisis. You're
Right.
so right. Just, I don't want to is okay. Now, if you're in a marriage or a long-term relationship and the other person really does want to, then this is where what we want to do is have both people explain their position, why they feel the way they do, what they want to do, and then we come to some kind of middle ground. And maybe sometimes it is one person doesn't go, and your partner isn't always happy with your choices. Maybe I don't know, and that's okay. That as you mature, that has to be okay.
Can I ask you a big one that in my relationship that is okay? Going along with what you're saying about healthy communication, healthy boundaries, saying no, right? When you want to say no, and then your partner accepting that. There have been times in my relationship where Andrea and I are talking about something, and then I say, no, I don't really want to do this. And man, does that chap her ass.
Yeah.
And it gets her to a point where me saying no feels like what I want to do for me, but I'm blowing up the night. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
Because she's mad at me and my reasons for doing it. And there've been some where I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing this, and I'm going to have a bad attitude in this scenario you're painting.
In which case it is healthy to say no.
That's what I think.
Right.
But also, how do you get your partner to understand that what you're doing is to save their night?
So this is
Well,
the revelation.
they're like, well, just pretend to be happy.
Boom, he got it.
Yeah.
And then
So
Andrew's
you're gonna
like,
put some
then
work.
just suck it up.
Yeah.
So
which is it? Because I don't know which. Apparently I am choosing the wrong ones lately, and it's been a minute, but there have been a couple times where I think I'm choosing the right thing. I think I'm taking myself out of the situation and allowing them to still do what they're doing, and it blows up the whole night. And I'm like, damn it, I did it wrong. Or did I?
By sucking it up, it shows your partner you're doing work for them. And
Yes.
there's a little bit of that,
Yeah.
right? Like
Is that?
Like my wife does
Yeah.
sometimes won't want to I look at it like working out, Colette, is like no one wants to do it, but I know that it will be good for me later. So then it's like a lot of people don't want to do anything. You don't want to even leave your house, but it will be good for you later doing these things for Christmas or seeing your family.
Yeah.
You will appreciate it later when they're all gone. And you know what I'm saying?
agree.
Like, because you never leave your house if it wasn't for forcing yourself to do,
In
you
the
know,
rub and
who,
the- right.
Yeah.
who wants to drive and see family far away? Who wants to do a bunch of work or host a thing or whatever? But I am betting that I will appreciate the fact that I did it later. I don't want to do it at the time, but I will get the reward in life and like the fulfillment of life later.
Did
Yeah.
any of the mumbling of us dum-dums make any sense to you?
Yeah, no, I think that this brings up a couple good points. So I think men might not love this, but one of the things I would love to see for men from a therapy perspective is getting more comfortable with their wives being disappointed or angry. You cannot control someone's response. And I see a lot of the language men often use in therapy is, I don't want to get in trouble, or I did the wrong thing, or well, then she'll be mad. And so many men are just trying to do anything they can to avoid being in the doghouse in any way, whatever that looks like. And the truth is, we really can't manage our partner. We don't know whether they're going to be happy or not. And I'm not saying we don't all have to sometimes suck it up and do things for the greater good.
'Cause you should,
Yeah, there's some of that I think comes with adult life, right? Sometimes you don't want to get up and go to work, but you have to function. So yes, do things and be considerate of your partner. But I do think men a lot of the time are just going that happy wife, happy life thing. Like, I just don't want to be in trouble. And then you end up not ever saying, there are times when you should say, hey, you know what? I really don't want to do this. I get that this might matter to you, but I don't feel like going to XYZ. I really need to stay home. I need a day off. I need some downtime. It's not selfish to also think about your own needs.
Oh my God, I just realized I'm always dodging the doghouse.
That's what I
Hold on, write that down. That's a great bluegrass song. Dodging the
I'm always
doghouse.
dodging
Yeah,
the doghouse. Let's
Bob
sing.
Wills and the Texas Playboys singing "Dodging the Doghouse."
You ever seen
This is what I hear from men all day in therapy.
the video
Yeah.
of Tyreek Hill going after all the female football players? Imagine those female football players are the doghouse, and I'm Tyreek Hill. I'm juking the doghouse every second of my life, Colette. That's because I'm like, oh God, the doghouse is coming.
But do you ever
I gotta
really,
juke out of it.
Do you ever really go into the doghouse? Because see, I don't feel
All the time.
But see, I don't feel like you go into the doghouse. I feel like I go into the doghouse for reasons I don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're not juking the doghouse.
No, I'm not as
You're
good.
barely even. You're just running right through the line.
But I think
You can't juke the doghouse.
You gotta
no.
get more comfortable with the doghouse. Like maybe you're not doing anything wrong. Maybe you are. Like if you're in a long-term relationship and you actually have your own identity and advocate for it, you are sometimes going to upset, disappoint, or anger a partner. And this is the biggest challenge
God,
for
this
people.
goes for family and work relationships
Everything.
and everything, right?
It's
Isn't this
called
like
differentiation.
This is a bread and butter
Yes.
tactic right here.
We
buddy.
have to learn how to tolerate other people's disapproval, disappointment, and anger. And it is very hard.
God,
but
I hate the doghouse, Colette, because it's dry in there.
Yeah, but-
it doesn't feel good.
You know,
It doesn't
neither
feel
of
good.
us like this in different ways. I
Yeah.
like being liked, and you want mouth favor.
But we all do. We all do. And then women
If there was
do our own
another like
version.
side female dog in the doghouse, and even if there was
Yeah.
disgusting,
Just,
I'll
what about
take
a
whatever.
robot doghouse? Yeah,
a
I'll
robot.
take anything.
Yeah. If there was some other
even if there's just a dog butt in there,
God.
a silicone dog butt in there, I'll take that.
In the future, there's going to be a robot in the doghouse,
Oh,
and then I don't
yeah.
even mind being in there that much.
That's the
I
problem.
still think you won't want to
That's the
go.
problem. When's the last time you did VR? I didn't want to go out. I powered mine back up last night, and I reloaded all the.
Yeah, I
I got
need more
an
than that.
old Generation 1 VR. I got in there last night. I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going out. They've improved it. It's 10 times better than it was when we were using it.
Yeah, but it's only the brain.
You
that
should see the
need-
doghouse.
Yeah.
But can I just say one thing about why
Never
this is so
underestimate
important?
a bag of peas in a microwave.
So not only is this for you, but this is also for your relationship, because what happens is that if you don't actually say how you feel or what you want or ever advocate for yourself, it leads to resentment. And this is actually what my book is about, that when you don't speak up about your own wants and feelings, my book, The Cost of Quiet, you end up getting filled with resentment. You start to hate your partner, whether you admit it or not. There starts to be distance and disconnection, and both men and women do this. So I've gotten in the habit, this is even a little bit of overfunctioning, of saying to my husband, if I really want him to do something, and I'll be honest, there are things where I'm like, you're doing this. Like we went on that podcast, that marriage therapy podcast, and he was like, I don't want to go on a podcast. I was like, you have to go. This is for my
So
book.
that's a suck up moment.
Yeah. And I said, look, this
Yeah.
is super important. Like, I know this isn't your thing, but I really need you to do this for me. So I was honest and kind of begged. And
Did you offer a reward after?
I did not, but
That's
I
a personal
probably should have.
question. My God.
You know what?
That works.
Yeah, did you offer a reward? And
I
then
did
describe
not.
it very slowly.
I'll do
But
any
once
podcast
he
for a
hears
reward.
this, he's going to be asking for a reward.
You know what? That is a fact about, not for Colette, not at all for Colette.
I'll go on the news
But for
a
you and
reward.
me, any podcast that wants us to go, if you'll give us a reward, we're there.
I'll
We're
shovel.
Well,
for a
I'll
reward,
have to
anything.
float this to my husband for the next one, because I did not think of it. But he was honest and was like, I don't want to do it. But
Yeah.
typically I'll say to him, if it's something that I'm asking, hey, don't say yes, like if you're going to resent it. Like, I want you to really check with yourself. And this is what I want to encourage people to do, men or women, is if you're saying yes to something, and let's say you're doing it for someone else and you don't want to, get clear that you're making the choice and ask yourself first, am I going to resent this person or this thing? Because if you are, then that's not really fair. If you choose to go and you choose to do it for your wife, fine, then you're doing it for your wife, but then don't be resentful about it. So that's an internal
That's what I'm
process.
working on. I don't
Yes.
think Tom has that problem naturally. I don't think that's the way he's wired. I am way better at it now, but I
Yeah.
have to actively work on not being a bitchy little dickhead.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll say it. I like,
Man, baby.
Yeah, 100%,
Exactly.
100%. I have no problem talking. Look, I know who I am. He knows who he is. We know who we are.
But I think Tom's just like mentality is that he just has to do these things and has to power through. I don't even think you let yourself like tune into what you really want and need.
He doesn't know what he really wants and needs.
Right.
All
think
he wants
he's
is,
all crazy in
honestly,
there.
you know what this man wants? All he wants is for DeSantis to open up the Florida internet. No more VPNs, DeSantis. He just
They're gonna go to Canada.
how can you
DeSantis?
sit there? How can you sit there in pointy alligator boots and claim that we are the free state of Florida when you can't even go to all internet sites? How can you say that? How can you live with yourself?
I can't bring my gun in Publix and I can't look at
Correct.
porn.
Wait, you can't bring your gun
You
in
can.
Publix?
You
Okay.
can.
Yeah,
I can
I know, I'm
literally.
saying-
I don't even know.
I can go in there and order a meatball marinara with an AR-15 on my back, but I can't go to Pornhub? That's not the free state of Florida.
Yeah, what is
You're
this?
lying to me, man.
Okay, but you know what men want? Men want, or what I will hear from men if I summarize this, they want peace and sex.
Oh, yeah.
That's for the world. For the world, for Christmas. That's my
At
Christmas
home.
message.
That'll solve a lot
That's
of
my
problems.
Christmas message for the
Right,
world.
no fighting
Yeah.
and a sexual relationship. And those things are good, except that in adult life we do have to narrate
right.
conflict. And people do resent. Like, if you are going to be a bitchy little dick, or however you described it, Dan, like that's good that you're working on that, because that's the place where don't say yes if you're going to be a bitchy little dick. Say, you know what? No, I'm not. I don't want to do this. This is too much to ask of me. And I'm sorry if that pisses you off. Like, it is okay to do that. Is not selfish. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
God, it feels selfish, and it's. I'll tell you what. We talk a lot about reps. But when you're working on these sort of things and you have 0 reps in doing these things, it is not fun.
You have to practice.
And it is hard.
It is really hard. And honestly, if I didn't do this whole like gig as a therapist, like I learned to do this by having a therapy practice. Before that, I was a total people pleaser. I couldn't say no, and I was always resenting things I had to do instead of realizing I chose to do them, and that responsibility was with me.
Ooh, that's good.
I hate taking
That's
responsibility.
good. You got us. You see,
I
we
know
both
it
did
gets
a big
really
breath.
quiet.
We both did a big breath and a big sigh. We're like,
It's like,
oh,
maturity.
she got it. Should we do
sucks.
another one? No.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Because
yes.
we have so many Christmas emails.
Okay,
Again,
let's talk about it.
If you want to send an email, hello@lovethyneighborshow.com, and we'll get you in here. Let's see. This one is a little bit. Let's go with this one. I feel ridiculous writing this. My husband and I don't argue very much, but Christmas gifts turn me into something I don't recognize. I overthink everything. I spend too much. Then I resent it. Then I feel guilty for resenting it. Then we
Boom.
fight.
Yep.
He keeps saying it's just stuff, but it doesn't feel like. I pulled this one for you too, by the way, Tom. He keeps saying it's just stuff, but it doesn't feel like it's just stuff when it's tied to love and the effort that I put into Christmas and my kids. I don't know how to stop and turn my brain off. Thank you for what you do. Signed, L. She wanted me to give her. It's a. She said I could say lady.
Yeah, no, I already knew from the story that it's a woman.
Yeah.
It's obvious, right? This is the kind of stuff that women were so conditioned. I feel for her, because so much of why it's so hard for her to stop is the way women have been conditioned by society, right? That we have to, that it's how we show love, that the gifts have to be good enough, that everybody has to feel so thought about and cared for. And
Andrea does it. My wife
Yeah.
does it. My wife put together a curated a 31-day handmade advent calendar
Wow.
with gifts for Maisie every day that come from Ulta and all these beauty shops. 31 little gifts that hang from a little string
She put her own advent calendar?
together, and it took her
That's
hours to do.
insane.
And I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
we bought
so
an advent
cute.
calendar.
Yeah.
We do. We have like 12 advent calendars, and she was hand making one because she's just so damn afraid that it's not going to be awesome.
But she wants to do it.
She wants to do it.
So that's what I was going to say. The differentiator is some people really enjoy these things and they get a lot of personal fulfillment out of doing it. I love that your wife did that. I never want to do something like that. And
agree.
so I'm not going to, because I'm not into really gift giving or gift receiving, to be honest. So that wouldn't be my gig, but a lot of people feel that that's how they show love. Then go for it. But for this woman, you know, she really does feel trapped by a belief system that she should do these things and she doesn't really want to. So it's going to start with her own internal sense of permission. And like you said with reps, it's going to take time. But I would encourage her to think about how she's talking to herself internally and start a dialogue that says, okay, it feels really uncomfortable not to do this, but I have permission to explore. What if I didn't put so much time and energy into these gifts? Because if you want to do it, regardless of how people are going to receive it, great. But we get into trouble when it's like, oh, people aren't appreciating this enough, and I put all this time and work. So she's got to start telling herself, you know, how much time and work do I want to put because it feels good to me? And starting to let go. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to take work.
Did you know you? Oh, well, you noticed it, but the email as you're reading it got increasingly negative towards herself.
Yes.
You know, like which is, and I do that. I'm real bad about it. I think you're real bad about it. My self-talk is like absolutely. If you heard how I talk about myself in my brain, you'd be embarrassed.
So
Okay, when we go into the New Year thing, we have to talk about
That's
that.
on my list. Yeah,
Yes.
for changing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm already working on it.
So I've got an idea that this happens to me. So back to like there's usually an emotional person.
You've been
and
on a roll, by the
logical
way.
person.
Can I give you a compliment?
No.
The last couple times. Thank you. All right, I'm not going to give it. I'm going to get better.
It's a 0 to me.
I'm getting better respecting people's boundaries. I said, can I give you a compliment? He said no, and I respect that.
Whatever you're gonna say, I pretty much thought of it.
But you
pretty
lost
much
it
gonna
first,
reject
but then you got it back.
Well, because Crystal tells me quit being a D-head, everybody. I'm like,
I can't stop it. It's who
My
I am. I
personality.
love being at the end. It makes me so happy.
Okay, so there's an emotional person, the logical person. In Christmas, I see this a lot where someone's like, just don't get me anything. I don't care.
Yep.
Like, I promise I don't. And
That's me.
That's me.
Well,
I do not want anything.
Well, no, that's Andrea in your relationship.
Well, no, I don't want anything either.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm all about Maisie's Christmas. I'm like,
no, of course, yeah, with
But,
the kids, but you know what I'm saying.
but
like,
as an emotional person, yes, it does weigh heavier in my world.
yeah,
Correct.
So it's and then I
It
believe
does.
that Andrea truly doesn't care, and I truly, if there was no presents for me, like I just care about the kids, my wife, or whatever. Like if there was no presents for me, I honestly will take a lie
believe
detector
that.
test.
I believe it.
Oh, I
Would-
believe you, 'cause
it
I'm
would-
the same.
It would not affect my Christmas
Yeah.
one bit because the whole Christmas
You're right.
is for the kids and the family, and
I
they're putting
agree.
this thing, and that's
I
it.
agree.
But
It took me work to get where I'm at, by the way. I would say that.
That's
I put in
great.
reps to get there.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing. I realized over time that the other people, it's for them.
They love
They
it.
want to give me gifts.
Right. And that's different.
That is different, and so I
love
don't
giving
care about
gifts.
it, but they want it. So it's quit. Like so, I'll make like so now I'll give my wife like 5 things on Amazon. I pick things that I want for my yard or whatever. Like here's some fertilizer or what. I just pick some things just so she has them, and then
I think that's sweet.
and then because I like sometimes that way they have something, you know, because I realize the gift giving is for the person giving the gift, and if I keep saying I don't get me anything, I don't want more stuff, I'm kind of ruining it for them.
Yeah, I think that's very thoughtful. And I also think it's okay for both things to be true, right? For someone to say, if someone takes the time to communicate, hey, I know you don't need anything. I hear you saying I don't want anything, but I really want to give you something because it means something to me because I love you.
And appreciate it. Don't be like,
Yes.
oh, you shouldn't have bought me anything. Yeah,
Right.
Don't be a
Then
Grinch.
you can be like, okay, well, if you really want to get me something, here's an idea. Because I never know what to get my husband. You know, at this stage of life, and I do want to encourage people in this direction, unless you're somebody who a material gift, and I don't want to dismiss this. Some people, you know, gifts is a love language, even though that's not an empirically validated thing. Some people really love a gift. I don't care about a physical gift. What I want is quality time with the people I love. And I just want to encourage people in general. We're so conspicuous consumption in this country, right? We buy things just to buy them and then they sit and rot. A lot of people don't need more stuff. If you really love someone, a friend, a colleague, a partner, a child, an adult child, you know, come up with something that shows you've thought about them and what they're interested in, and plan a day, plan an afternoon, meet them for an hour and do something cool. It doesn't have to be complex or expensive. Those are the things that people are going to remember. And the more thought someone has put into you, you know, the more you feel loved and cared for. Like my therapist friend who shares the office next door with me, you know, we have separate businesses. Half the time we don't even see each other. I love her to death though. And she brought me this, I got her a little gift. It's the only person I bought a gift for, literally. And she got me a little gift, and her gift is all stuff about relaxing and different little cute things that are about, because she knows I'm going through this crazy book launch. It was just so thoughtful.
Yeah.
And that showed me that she knows me and she cares about me. And even though I don't need a gift, it just made me feel like, oh, like that's so sweet.
Yeah,
She
so you would
thought about me.
Advise
Yeah,
against like if you have like it's like when you get like your friend's son's in a wheelchair and you get him a windsurfing board.
Right.
You know,
That
like
would
you gotta know
something.
you know, put a little thought into it.
And
Right?
it's,
Yeah.
everybody's got social media. Go on their social media, look at it. You know, also a good gift that I like an experience. Go to Dr. Phillips Center. look through the next
a good
shows
idea.
in
Yes.
2026. Just pick something
Oh,
out.
That's
anything.
a great idea.
And then take-
small concert at Judson's.
'Cause it's
Pew
all gonna
Theater,
be
Disney
good.
Theater,
That's a
anything
great
is good.
idea.
Anything
Everything
is good.
there is gonna be good, and then just pick some tickets out, and then get a date
No
night for
bad
your partner.
seat, no bad show.
Oh my God, I agree. I would love.
That's one of your best ideas you've ever put on there.
I
That's a
totally
goodie.
agree. Think of how cool it would feel if a friend or a partner said, "Hey, I planned this date. Again, doesn't have to be expensive. We're gonna go see a show. I'm gonna take you to dinner." Like, it's just so nice. It's an investment of time and energy.
And it doesn't, because a lot of husbands this time of year freak out. I've done it
Totally.
20 years where it gets closer to the holidays. I'm busy as hell, the kids or whatever. I'm like, I forgot to give my wife. And then I'm like, God, I'm a bad husband because I didn't put any thought into it. Then I'll think.
What's the most expensive thing at CVS?
And then I'll sit
I
there.
got your remote control car.
And then I'll be like, I don't know anything. Oh, what the hell does this lady like? I don't even know. And then I'm like,
What's gonna get me favors later? God, remote control cars, nail polish.
And then it doesn't
I
have
don't
to.
know.
And I promise you, my wife would just like a ticket to a show at
Yep.
Dr. Phillips
Yeah.
and take her out to dinner anywhere, any restaurant.
Oh my God, Tom, I agree. If my husband did that, I would be so happy, and I
Right.
bet your wife would too. So
No,
are you
Is that a
doing
dig
this?
on what your? Do you know what your husband's getting you?
No, but this year, because we're going to Hawaii and
Oh,
it's
okay.
not cheap,
Yeah.
we are both. I'm like, literally, let's not even do those last minute. Like, we feel like every year we'll say no gifts, and then at the end we feel like we have to give each other something. I'm like,
Yeah.
nothing. I want nothing. And we're gonna go on a whale watch and a snorkeling thing. So
Nice.
it's all experience.
That'll be fun.
right? Yes.
Oh,
yes.
one more. You want to squeeze it in?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do one more.
One more. All right. This is the last one that I got because I thought this one was a little bit different because this involves maybe a little bit less of the dynamic between husband, wife, or partners, but maybe family.
Okay.
Dear Love Thy Neighbor, we decided not to see either of our families for Christmas. No drama, no big blow up, just we're tired. We told everyone we're staying home, and suddenly it's like we announced we're getting divorced. I didn't realize how much of our relationship is apparently judged by where we eat dinner on December
Yeah.
25th. Are we supposed to feel bad about choosing, and then they, in quotes, peace?
No.
Anonymous.
I literally was going like this. So this takes balls, right? It takes courage to say, we're tired. We don't want to. And you can love somebody and care about them and also say, I'm exhausted and I just can't. And we actually need more of this because I'm so impressed that somebody had the strength to
My
do
dad
it.
did it. My
great.
dad, I remember my dad did it, but like the reaction, unfortunately, I think the
Yeah.
reaction is the tried and true reaction. You're gonna get pushback on it. When my dad told everybody that he was sick of driving to Virginia,
Yeah.
and he put his foot down and he's like,
Yep.
the weather's better in Florida. I love my family. I have a pool. The gifts are here. Dan Lee, that was me, wants to ride his Power Wheels, so we are staying here. Good day. And he hung up the phone.
I love it.
And
You're gonna get
I was
pushback.
pumped
Oh, yeah.
as a little boy. I was so stoked that
But-
we didn't have to make that 9-hour drive.
But it's
my
like
God.
a coworker calling in sick the day after the Super Bowl, and then you're at work, and then you're like,
There
John
it
called
is.
in sick, and he's not coming today. I'm like, that MFer. I'm like, that guy's not sick. I'm here, and that MFer says, staying at home because he's hungover. I know he's lying. And then you're mad at him. You're like, I'm going to poop in his lunch.
But it's so true. If you're the
It's the most
family
unhinged
member.
answer, too. I love that. I love that. That was great.
It's the perfect analogy.
Playing the part of the other side will be Tom Van. He's a seasoned actor
Yeah,
from Miami.
If you went to the family event and then the other people don't show up, then you're pissed. But listen, everything is a cost benefit analysis
Yeah.
at the end of the day. Sometimes you take one for the team, but sometimes you just don't want to. And it's okay to do that too. But yes, you are often going to get pushback. People are going to be pissed. There's a lot of shoulds. And I think as individuals, to function in a healthy way, we have to get more comfortable with that and be willing to stay true to ourselves.
But it's like ripping the
Let
band.
people be upset. Yeah.
And you got to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yep.
We used to drive down to Miami with the young kids when they were first born. Because we always spent Christmas in
lot,
Miami.
yeah.
So we take the kids, and then one day when the kids were like 3 and 4, they were like they want Christmas in their own house. because they're older now, and then we had to
I
tell
begged
everybody.
for it. I wanted it so bad.
And then
Yeah.
the family was disappointed because we didn't drive down and stuff. And but then after, and then like the next year, we established what we're gonna do.
And they
And then I'm like, oh, we're not driving 3.5, 4 hours anymore. We're in our own homes. Like, this is awesome.
Maybe this will help you too to know you made the right decision. I still have a vivid memory of the first time my dad did that because I still remember the toy I played with in the yard because I was in my yard. Do you know what it was? Do you remember Stompers where you'd put there was like Bigfoot. It was like a little monster truck. You'd put one AA battery in it, and it claimed to crawl over anything, and I remember I spent all Christmas outside by the pool riding up anthills with my Stompers because my dad, it was the first Christmas we ever had in DeLand.
And your dad put his foot down.
He put his foot
And it
down.
was better for you and better for... I do think
And then we
people-
never went back, though, too.
Right.
So it kind of does. I mean,
But people will adjust around. I mean, listen, everybody, this is part of the challenge of the holidays. Everybody has their idea of how it should be. And we want everyone to be happy and we want everyone to be together. But a lot of times it's not good for everybody or it doesn't work. So there does have to be a lot more flexibility, realizing that if you're talking about 20 people plus, not everyone's going to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And so I think it's good. I love that email and that those people had the courage to say.
and they really did sound tired. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Everybody's
okay.
tired. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay to say, I just can't do it this year. I'm so sorry. I'll miss seeing you.
Yeah.
Peace out.
They'll get over it.
Yeah.
They will,
And
they
then
will.
the people there are like, wait a minute, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then
that's what happened.
no one goes.
That is what happened.
And then your grandma dies alone.
Merry Christmas, everybody, from the
Way to
Love Thy
wrap
Neighbor
up
team.
the episode.
I'm joking. Colette, let's plug your book.
That's the ghost of Grandma. She's so alone.
What is, let's plug your book real quick.
Thank you. The Cost of Quiet, How to Have the Hard Conversations That Create Secure, Lasting Love. This book is for everyone. It's about reclaiming your voice, advocating for yourself, getting your needs met in your relationship. You can pre-order it at ColetteJaneFair.com. It's also on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, everywhere you buy books.
There you go.
All right, awesome. Well, have a great Christmas, guys, and we'll see you in the new year.
Got it. Let me save that guy real fast, and I'll get us in the next one. What did we want to hit in the next one?
We'll just do some New Year's advice, little things, because this will obviously is the air live, but it'll be January 1st will be the show since it's a new show, and then I got one thing that I'm gonna try to do.
Great. I'm just checking this.
It's so funny. Like you say all this shit, and it's like, my God, this will be the best idea that Dr. Phillips. It's actually my wife's idea, so
great
she's
idea.
already
Love it.
done it with
a
her
good
gifts.
idea.
So I can't do it with her because I'm looking through and she already bought all the damn shit.
Well, there's other places.
I know, yeah.
I mean, St. Augustine Amphitheater is a really nice one, too.
Then I just panic and buy a massager, some crappy
Yeah.
massager.
See that? Well, what I'm gonna get, Andrea. I need to talk. Is Tracy in the chat room? I gotta get your massage lady's number, and that's my final gift for Andrea.
Oh,
Is
I love that.
Well, it's what she wants.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna give you what you want. I'm not gonna give you
Yeah.
any bullshit that I go and I'm really good at picking out clothing for her, but I don't have time to do that right now. And I think she wants to, dial in some more fitness before I go buying or something.
It's so interesting too. It's so individual. Like I don't my husband trying to stand on his head to come up with something that I would want doesn't mean anything to me. Other things do. So for me, it's like, let me relieve you of that pressure. And I don't think he loves buying gifts where it's like he wants to. I think it feels like a stressor for him. I'm like, buy some of pre-order my book. That can be your present.
That's
to
a
me.
lovely thing.
Yeah.
Oh, SJ, we are gonna do a double here, so if it's quick, that's good. If not, I won't be stopping this stream at all. We will be powering through because we gotta do a double for next week.
I can't believe we're in the holiday. I really can't.
It's a little weird.
It's a little
Maisie's
weird.
super pumped.
She is.
My kid is like literally freaking out.
See, that at that age, the holiday's so fun.
I love it. I do worry a little bit about the Santa thing a little bit.
Why she's like on the cusp?
No,
of,
she's all in on it.
How old is
I was
she?
gonna pick 10.
and she still believes.
There's a beautiful naivete that she has, like her mom, like her mom. They're Like, or if she knows, I think she's compartmentalizing it.
Because she wants the joy of it.
She wants it.
I want that back.
I do too. I do too.
Right?
All these adults are fucking killing it
I
for
know,
me. with their
adult life
bullshit.
sucks.
Your dumb adult bullshit.
Ruins all the
fucking
fun.
up my Christmas. it's true.
I know. I wish
It's
I could be 10
absolutely
years old
true.
again and believe in Santa
So
and like
fun.
a good world.
So fun. But the crushing blow of finding my gifts in the closet, that they had Santa written
yeah.
on.
It's devastating.
Don't do that, by the way. That's my piece of advice I can't really give out on any shows. If you're doing that, don't pre-tag your gifts.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do it.
Because that could be the
Because if your
dead
kids
giveaway.
are snooping around like
Yeah.
I wasn't a bad kid, but I like to snoop. You know, I'd get into some stuff. Don't pre-label them.
Yeah, but then if you're too good at hiding it, then you get to a point where you're so good at
You
hiding it.
lose them.
No, they're believing too long, and then it's like, how do you get out of it? And then,
I don't know.
And then when they finally get out of it, it's like it's more.
Yeah.
It's harder for them than the oh you forgot, or like that wrapping tape paper is the same as because my wife's so good at hiding it that it's like I think she's like scared about them coming to the realization.
Well,
with
yeah,
it.
you can't have the same. Mom can't give the same wrapping paper as Santa.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's like it's too.
It's a lot of work.
She's militant about it.
Do you know my rule, though, that
Yeah.
my parents didn't do, is we don't label from Santa. If it's a Santa gift, sometimes those don't even
We
get
don't either.
wrapped.
We didn't either.
Santa gifts don't even get wrapped because he don't have time for that shit. He's
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
He's like, I got to put the doll here, got to eat these cookies and get the fuck.
See, what you guys also don't know
I don't know,
is
I'm
like the
creating my own
sad
narrative.
stage of life where you no longer have kids. Like my kids are in their 20s. Like all that
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
magic is over.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they have kids, then you
But-
get it back.
Yeah, but I think we're a ways from that. I hope
Yeah.
we're a ways.
You'll,
Yeah,
it'll
yeah,
come
I
back
feel
as
it.
a
I feel
grandma, maybe.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know.
like the only person who's not dying to be a grandma.
No, you're not.
I think I'm too young.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of women
yeah.
don't. I think that was
Yeah.
a trend, and I think we're swinging out of that a little
Yeah,
bit.
like I mean, I'm sure when I am a grandma, if I am a grandma, I'll love
Like, look
my.
at me. I want to be a grandpa now.
He's like, yeah, you're rocking
Yeah,
like
yeah,
grandpa
I wanna be I
tomorrow.
want to be like in a rocking chair, like snapping beans.
See, I don't want to be asked to babysit. That's what
Me,
Or you're too busy.
Neither.
But
Yeah.
and maybe
like that sounds like hell.
in 15 years
maybe,
you'll slow
maybe.
down, and
Right,
you,
right,
and
right,
your
right.
daughters.
By
are,
the time I'm 80, maybe I'll be willing
Yeah.
to sit around.
All right, T. You're gonna start it. You're not gonna say it the way you normally do it because you did that last time.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
time
yeah,
we're
yeah.
guna do the completely different thing.
I'll
Yeah.
believe it when I see
And we're
it.
gonna do New Year's, and we just got 40 more minutes. Let's
do it.
Get it
Okay.
done. All right, here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to LTN. That's how I'm
It's
calling it
LT.
this year.
LTN. Where do you begin?
Colette Fair's on
I
the
don't know. That
couch
was
with
the
us.
only tagline I can rhyme with it.
actually love
LTN.
That's
Where
what
growth begins.
I love
Where
it.
human growth begins.
We're starting the year off with the creative juices.
You know what I will
flowing.
say? Because our company is hemorrhaging money and it's just like the beginning of the year, if you need anything creative, Tom and Dan got your back. Email me, Dan at tomandan.com. If you need some stupid phrase or a dumb logo or anything, I'll help you out for money.
So
There you
Colette,
go.
it's the beginning of the year, and I figured today we'd go over some resolutions, some relationship resolutions for this year, because I
How
think
the hell did you say that?
everybody can do a little bit better at, just with no matter how good you are at your relationship, you could always improve a little bit.
Yep.
And I think that you could do small things that are attainable instead of like trying to change your whole personality or do some ridiculous thing that's way too hard. It's kind of like with any resolution, people are like, oh, that's it. I'm, changing my life, and you're eating tiny little salads and you're only drinking
You're
water.
talking about EJ. We have a big
well,
fat,
everybody does.
We have a big fat friend named EJ, and he's trying to not be big and fat anymore. And he did the age-old, and everybody knows it. Even other big fats know.
Yeah, exercise
that
every day.
if you on a Tuesday you decide on Wednesday to I'm going salads and water from here on out. The nutrition journey starts now.
It's too
It does-
extreme.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's not attainable. It's not
yeah.
realistic.
You're setting yourself up for failure. over
Yep.
and then you fail and you go back to your old ways, and maybe you could just do a couple small things, because those little small things do add up and change your life.
This
and,
is science backed, what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
but he
spot
believes in it
on.
when it comes to this, but he doesn't believe in it that your vote counts. If it's a single vote, he doesn't believe in that.
Well, it's like eating one salad and then
It's like-
pretty saying you're going to lose 200 pounds.
I know how to break his brain.
But if you had 10,000 votes, if you voted every day, maybe, but not one
But if
vote every 4 years.
everybody has the
Yeah.
mentality, it is true. The smaller changes are the way to go, and they add up. One salad still counts. One vote still counts.
All right.
It's true.
So,
Rock the vote, P. Diddy.
So I think we can all say one thing that we could do, and Colette, you know probably way more than we do. I came up with one thing, and
I can't wait to hear.
So Colette, let's start with you. What do you think? One small thing that's attainable for our listeners,
Yeah.
because you got to remember it's hard. Again, it's like we all start out the new year, and we're like, okay, it's gonna change, and you're like, wait a minute, this is just like 2 weeks ago.
I'm eating fast food. What happened?
Hey, this
It's
day,
so true.
this day is nothing really has changed.
Yeah.
Same job, same wife, same life, same things. And how am I supposed to change if it's the same?
Okay, I have something. I really, it's so much simpler than we would think, but it's kind of like an exercise I give to a lot of my couples once they're doing well. One of the best things you could do for your relationship is to carve out a couple of minutes a day and be really focused and present with each other.
Okay.
That's it. And during that time, and honestly, everybody's like, yeah, in their head. Like, we know this is a good idea, but I'm telling you, people do not do this because they're so maxed out. They're so exhausted. We work way too much. We have too much pressure on us, all of us. Yeah. The economy is not good. People are struggling financially. They've got kids. They've got so many demands. You come home, you're exhausted. You want to collapse, numb out with the TV, the computer, the phone. So if you could do one thing to revitalize your relationship, I would say take literally, it could be 5 minutes, unplug from everything, sit with your partner, share something you felt. So you're actually naming emotions, something you appreciate about your partner, and something you're struggling with. And the reason for this is that this gets the muscle going of naming emotions, talking about your feelings, which we know creates connection, and expressing appreciation is very, very important for people. There's all kind of science that in a good relationship, people really need to hear closer to 20 positives for every negative. So if you took 5 minutes, no phone, looked at your partner and said, hey, here's how I've been feeling. Here's something I appreciate about you. Here's something I'm struggling with. Then your partner knows what's going on in your inner world, and then they're going to do the same thing. If you were doing this every day, you would feel so much more connected. There would be less guessing about what's going on in your partner's mind, and then you don't have to spend tons of time. It's really quality time, not the amount of time. Then go be busy, do all your stressful things, but take that time to plug in and connect.
All right, I love that.
That's a good one.
And it's not impossible. It's not an impossible feat. You're talking about a couple minutes a day.
5-10 minutes.
And do it at the same day. Develop a routine.
Yes,
of,
if you can, right? If you can. If you can't, it has to be a different time of day, great. But what ends up happening is you're two people, like roommates, orbiting in the same room, zoning out, both of you scrolling through your phones.
Yeah.
Right? So, let's just break that a little bit. I think we're all exhausted and stressed out, and we get home and we don't have anything left, but we have to save a little teeny bit of energy for the relationship. And it doesn't require as much as it doesn't require a big date night. It really requires a little focused presence.
All right, I like that. That's attainable. Someone could do that.
Yes.
All right, here's mine.
I can't wait.
Okay, so once a week, that's all it is. Once a week. And then you have to plan for this a little bit. So at the beginning of the year, buy Post-it notes. All right. So buy Post-it notes, put it in your car, and then I'll go to Amazon and then get a bunch of get some plastic flowers, a little whatever trinkets, and then put those in your car or whatever. All right.
So you're asking me to dirty up my car with a bunch of junk.
Or your garage or whatever out the
all
door, and then set a reminder that goes off, an alarm, that every Wednesday, or pick a day that works for you the best, and then on your phone, and that it reminds you to do this, right? And then so once a week, one tiny gesture of, hey, like on the Post-it note, you write a little, I love you. and then post it into their car before you leave to work, or put it on their bag or
sweet.
whatever.
So sweet.
or-
That is the
I
sweetest thing he's ever said.
Yeah. Again, I don't do any of this.
But you're gonna do it this
But
year.
what made you think about this, honestly? When did you think about this? Like, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
how'd you get this idea?
Yeah.
Right before the show.
2
like,
minutes
you,
ago.
like, oh crap! I need some BS. I need some BS for the relationship
Yeah.
show. What do I tell? What can I lie to
make
Colette?
up?
What can I
I'm
lie
gonna
to
try.
Colette about? This is what I do to my therapist. I'm like, what can I lie to her about to make her think that I'm making progress? And then I go into my therapist. She's like, how's it going, Dad? I'm like, man, I'm really receiving the energy from the universe right now. I think I figured it out. She's like, oh, this is so great.
So
and then she charges me $600.
So I will not be able to do this unless I pre-plan and I go to Amazon right now and then I say order Post-it notes and then look around, like either miniature flowers or some little like, hey, thinking of you, something like, just so, because that, and I could put that in a car or buy it in a purse or a bag or before we leave or just, and then that little tiny gesture, and I look at it like work, I like put in the work.
Yeah.
Like every Wednesday, I just do this little thing. I open her car, put it on her, our dashboard, and then
I like
close,
that.
and then drive away. And it's like, oh, like it's
Drive away.
and it's a small little thing.
Drive away before we
But
can talk.
Now the chat room has a question.
Talking is harder.
The chat room has a question that kind of goes back to last week's episode before the holidays. Are you doing these Post-it notes in a way to build up, are you doing it for the goal of getting a favor in return?
Well, yeah, of course I am. But here's the thing. I'm telling you guys this. I'm not telling my wife this. My wife just sees a small gesture like he is.
But are you hoping that it's going to, you're chumming the waters for favors?
Well, yeah, because
Are you also trying to make her feel loved and
yes,
cared for?
because she says, I'll give you all the favors you ever want if I feel loved and cared for. And then I'm like, oh, it's so hard. I don't know how to do it. But I think this is the way.
This is like one of those movies where you get to the end and you're like, I've been doing all of the Post-it notes and flowers you asked. And then she's like, it wasn't authentic. Right?
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
like,
That's what I'm feeling.
No,
I feel
no.
like if it's not authentic, then it doesn't matter how many Post-it notes you stick on her steering wheel. No favors.
But it is authentic because I did put in the work. And here's the thing: saying it doesn't mean I'm doing it. But once I do it,
Right.
I think I'm guessing. It's like, but again, back to working out. That's the only thing I understand. I just it's hard, but it's like that little tiny working out once a week won't show me any results like in a month, but it'll show me results in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? It just takes
But
time.
it depends on what I guess that's what the chat room is kind of getting at. What is your marker for getting results? Is getting results her coming to you and saying, I really love that? Is it that you feel like your relationship is better?
No.
Is it favors?
I'm just gambling on the fact that everything will be better in 6 months if I put in the work. And just like everything else is like you put in the small amount of work, and
so my question would
it
be,
doesn't come to me naturally. I forget.
I
that's
get
the
it.
problem. Like naturally, I'm just doing things.
So
I'm
let
like,
me
oh,
give
I
you a
forgot.
question
but I
that-
have to put it in terms of work. Like if I put in this work,
right?
it
But
will be better.
Let me ask you a question that goes then to Colette. If you're just going through the motions of the thing,
yeah.
is that doing work? Because I don't necessarily know if it is.
Okay, so what I want.
We got her. That was the goal.
I think you're like, I quit.
I hate being a therapist. Good day.
Yeah,
No,
your
I
brain
think-
is
You
rotting.
broke her, dude.
I think these are both valid points. First of all, I think is it work? I mean, it is work. You're making effort. I don't think it's so bad if there's also a goal that you want to have more sex or your wife to be happy, your relationship to be good. It sounds like all of that's true. Where I go with this is, what does this mean to your wife? Like, is this something you've just decided is like an easier way for you to like check a box? Or is this something that really makes her feel cared about? Because we need to do things to some degree that like land for our partner. Now, for me, I think it's very sweet and romantic. I'd rather actually have like a deeper conversation where my husband shares something about his emotional
What do I do with
world.
all these trinkets I ordered? God damn.
But that doesn't mean that isn't also like very romantic and lovely. What matters is not what I think of it or what you think of it. It matters what Crystal thinks of
True.
it. Like,
Yeah,
does
that
this
is true.
mean something
And
to
I think
her?
it would.
No,
I think
yeah,
it would.
but the 2 minutes of conversation a day where I express my feelings is so much harder for
Right.
me than ordering the
But I bet
trinkets.
she'd love it. And also to the post-it note, I would even say you don't even have to do the.
Well, our buddy Ryan was saying that, and his name is Ghost to Minute Bull in our chat room, and he said something. I didn't want to say it because I thought you don't want me to ban him for the chat room. He said, "I honestly think a compliment and a hug would go a lot further than your trinkets and plastic flowers."
Oh my God, amen. Amen.
Oh, Ryan, you got an amen.
Well,
That's the
that's
first
hard
ever
for me.
amen for you. Get an amen from Colette, Ryan, and me. You and I look like idiots.
See, but that's if I set a reminder and say, and then it says comes
2
up and it
minutes.
says,
Talk to your wife for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it
You're
says-
like throw your phone across the room.
it says like compliment and hug, and then I go over to her like a robot, and then I'm like,
you look nice today.
and then I hug, and then I'm like, this is
May
fake.
I hug you?
But you know what? It's
Losing
not
money.
fake. We've got to
I know.
change that whole thing. If you set an alarm to give your wife a compliment, it's not fake. You're just reminding yourself
It
to
isn't
do
fake.
something that makes someone feel good. Like I love your idea. I think leaving a post-it note with or without trinkets
You
is
hurt his
lovely.
feelings now, and it's hard to do
It's
that.
romantic.
This may be the first
No,
time.
it's
This may be the first time
No,
on
I love
any
it.
Tom and Ed
Ah,
product that
no,
we've
no.
hurt Tom's feelings.
can
He
never-
is hurt
You
right
can
now.
never hurt my feelings.
Oh, he'll cry in the bathroom. I saw him in the
believe
other room. He's
that.
Xing out trinkets on his
But
Amazon
wait, I'm
account.
not saying don't do this. I'm just saying don't make this like the substitute for actually like talking and opening up. A little I'm gonna hope that on your New Year's to-do list is working on even a little bit, like from where you are, just sharing a little more of yourself. Because I think you're very intelligent. I think you have a really good heart. I do.
You're like
and I
the
think
Tin
you're
Man.
also very funny. But I think if you gave yourself permission to just be you a little more in some of these moments, I think it would be really rewarding for you and your wife.
God,
you may get that favor you want.
the trinkets are like the Ozempic to working out.
I know.
the working out is like the talking.
It's a GPL1 trinket is what it is.
I just want the post-it notes and trinkets.
Yeah.
I just put it on there.
I love that. How about both? How about both?
I know.
Well,
yeah,
it'll
yeah.
accelerate the favors, maybe.
Yes.
A lot of celebrities are
Yes.
doing both authentic 2-minute conversations and GPL1 trinkets.
Exactly.
I know.
There's a place for this GLPs. They're wonderful. I
my
happen to be a
God.
big fan. And you have to exercise and eat healthy.
Yeah,
right?
which is the 2-minute talking.
The trinkets and the 2-minute talking.
You're not
Okay.
wrong.
All
You're not
right.
wrong.
I
I mean,
think
these are some twisted examples that we're having to dig through, but we're figuring
Totally.
it out.
The post-it note is lovely with or without the trinkets. It's just also like be present with your partner. Like there's nothing that's going to make your marriage better than that. Nothing.
All right. I've got another one I just thought of that it kind
and
of.
I'm not doing one because I'm awesome. No, I'm doing. I have a
Thanks for
couple.
telling
I
us
have
that.
a couple. I have a couple.
Daniel, what do you think?
Well, the first one I'm doing is for me, and I need to get, and this is like more about personal health and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had a hip replacement last year in March.
Yeah.
And I've recovered from that, and I'm doing well. And I have to do the other one because my pelvis is all messed up. And so I want to be in the best possible shape for that. So I'm just not, and the easiest thing to do is to cut out the drinking. So that's an easy one to.
Are you cutting it out completely?
Yeah, I've done it before. I can totally do
Me
it.
too.
I've already 2 weeks. I've already been like with nothing, and it's fine. And it sucks because it's not. What sucks about it, and this is where it does get into a therapy kind of a space, is that alcohol is one of the only things that I can use actively and easily to cope or to shut my brain or stop it from moving.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to get my brain to stop. And alcohol works, and I've talked about this even with you, T. And it's like,
it's so good.
and it is, but it works. And do I need it every day? And am I drinking, hiding it under the mattress? Absolutely not. And if you are doing that, I would urge you to get help. You have a lot of life to live, but it's not helping me, and it's certainly not going to help me recover from major surgery. So to get out of it now, to exercise as much as I can now, to eat good now and prepare myself for the surgery is something I've never done before.
It's great.
So that way when I get in there, I'm thinking my recovery will be better. So anyway, that's my personal one.
See, you don't have a spouse that drinks. I do.
I don't.
And there's nothing better than convincing your spouse to drink.
Correct.
So then you could drink.
Yeah.
I think you're
Misery loves
drunk.
company. It is true. I still do it with my wife who doesn't drink. I'm like, come on, have something, loosen up a little.
I think it's so much better when you're drunk together.
It is.
The holidays, at least. I'm joking.
It is fun. It is fun.
Yeah, but yeah.
I think this is a good one, though, and you're right. A lot of people who, substance abuse, the actual technical
It works.
diagnosis is not alcoholism, isn't a diagnosis, but it's substance use disorder. And the threshold for it being a problem is much lower than people think, right? Everyone's not like not functioning, hiding it. Those getting DUIs, I mean, that happens, but those are
I
extreme
have so many
examples.
DUIs.
It can
No, I
just
don't.
be like over self-medicating. And it
Yeah.
really is a neurotoxin. I mean, alcohol destroys your cells. It leads to cancer. I'm not trying to be like the total buzzkill, but
right.
it is true.
It's poison.
It's definitively proven that no amount of alcohol is safe. And I think as a society, we're moving away from it. I think drinking is less popular. And of course, maybe marijuana has replaced it. But to your point, we do have to have something to fill that void. Alcohol is so easy to help your brain check out if you're anxious, if you're ruminatory.
Well, if you're sad, like for me,
Yes.
traditionally,
But it does make you more depressed.
It does, but not at the time.
Right.
You know, and Tom and I've talked
Right.
about this, and we figured out that first beer in the garage with my dog, listening to music that I love, when I'm sad, I can get about 22 to 25 minutes worth of pleasure out of it.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's
It's
authentic, real. 22 minutes of listening to Lukenbach, Texas by Waylon Jennings, my dog, putting up, hanging up stuff in my garage. I can spike that level of joy to the moon, and I can make my brain stop, and I can be like, I'm not sad about this. This doesn't depress me. I don't feel stuck here. I don't worry about.
It's short-term relief.
Yeah, and but you only get 22 to 25 minutes out of it, and then you're chasing that original one.
Exactly.
And
Like
it's just
all
not-
of this stuff. It's
it's
not good.
Not good. And if there's any reason why I drink, it is to cope. So is that
Totally.
a good answer? No, that's not a
But
good
it's
answer.
human. I mean, I was just on this flight where there was terrible turbulence, and I'm really scared to fly. I've had a couple
Me
bad
too.
experiences, and the minute I'm okay now, unless there's turbulence, and then I absolutely lose it. I was crying. Nobody else was freaking out. I was freaking out. As soon as it stabilized, I asked the flight attendant for a drink, and that's that same thing, right? And it reduced the stress and anxiety in the short term, and it's not ideal. So everybody's got their own journey, but I just want to plant a seed which really makes a difference. If I could get everybody to do this, it would change so many lives, which is to develop a short mindfulness practice. And this is again something you can do in really bite-sized chunks, 5 minutes a day. 2 minutes a day even would make a difference. It changes your brain, and mindfulness just means being present in the moment, noticing whatever thoughts come up without getting pulled into them and letting them go. Noticing your breath. I mean, it is the lowest hanging fruit for mental health. And a lot of this stuff, obviously I've been doing this for a long time. I'm still turning to a drink in the turbulence of the flight.
Well, I think you're being
It's not
honest.
perfect.
No,
Yeah.
I think that's why our listeners connect with you, is because you're not coming in here acting as if you're not a human.
Yeah,
I hate that. That's one of the main things. That's why I like
agree.
my therapist, is that she's real. Like, you are being authentically real in that, like,
Yeah.
hey, I have trouble, and this is maybe the reason why it made you go down that path.
Right. And I do this mindfulness stuff. At first I was like, ew, I don't want to meditate. I'm a very fast moving person. I don't like to sit still. But I'm really sold on it, and I do a very short dose. So even though I may still turn to a drink now in a turbulent moment, most things in life I'm actually able to cope with without turning to something much more than I used to be because of this practice. So there's all kinds of apps, Calm, Breathe, Headspace. A lot of people listening have probably even heard of this.
Insight Timer.
Insight Timer. That's what I use.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that
That's
one's
what I
free.
use. Yep.
Man, you took my second one. That's my other one for the one
Yeah.
that's not alcohol related is too. But I'm adding journaling into that too. It's so hard though.
Me too.
But here's
I
the
find
one thing I
journaling
want to
hard.
ask you,
Yeah.
because you're in this world. And Tom and I don't believe in this. I don't want to speak for you, but I think you'll know where I'm going on this.
Is it God?
No, but it's close. It's
Yeah,
close.
I'm
It's
joking.
like when people tell us, well, you guys need to meditate. You guys need a daily practice. You guys need a mentor. You guys need a gratitude journal.
Gratitude is
Now,
actually really good,
every
you guys.
person that I see out there literally killing it will tell me, Wallow, that guy, he's ex-con, he's a real motivational guy. I love him. Every morning he starts talking about, and this guy's like got out of prison, and he's like, you got to sit down, son. You got to sit down and write down the stuff you love, son.
Okay, he is
You
not
gotta,
wrong.
You got to make sure that you write down the things that you love so you know how effing precious those things are.
Okay, he is
And I'm
not
like, protect
wrong.
your energy, protect your peace, guard yourself. And I'm like, he fires me up.
See, I love this.
But I'm like, this isn't tough.
and do you know
That's all I think.
people who practice gratitude, like you're describing,
Yeah.
live longer.
Yes.
They have better mood. They have less anxiety.
I was
less
afraid
depression.
to bring this to you guys
Yeah.
because I thought you were going to laugh at me.
No. It's
I love.
research based.
Yes, thank you.
And it's something so easy. So I want to throw a way to make this even easier. If you're someone who doesn't love to journal, I don't love to journal. I use the 5-minute journal, which is like it's got a couple fill in the blanks for gratitudes, an affirmation, a mantra. Those things really work. They change your self-talk. But you can also say your gratitudes out loud. If you're somebody who really struggles to carve out time for journaling, which is not realistic for everyone's life, jump out of bed and the first thing, just say out loud or say it in your head. What are 3 things that are good today? I'm alive. I don't have cancer. The sun is shining. My partner made me coffee. It doesn't have to be big stuff, or it can be big stuff. What you're doing is you're helping your brain tend to what's positive. It's not toxic positivity. You're not pretending everything's fine. You're just remembering that there are things that are good in your life, because our brains have a negativity bias. So we will be hard on ourselves and focus on what's not working all day, every day, if we don't make our brains do this. This is very powerful stuff.
Okay, so let me ask you, Colette, if this is the same type of thing. Because I tried the practice gratitude thing because I've read all about the,
hard.
I see the social media
It's
posts.
incredibly hard, man.
I understand like psychology, your human brain, your mental health is a real thing. It's hard for me to understand how to make it better
But
or
at
whatever.
least you tried it. I
But,
would say.
Yeah.
but I'm like, but it's a thing that you should put effort into, just like exercise. You have
Yep.
to do whatever. So, but
It's exercising your brain.
I tried to do the gratitude with my sons on the way to school to teach them. I'm like, let's try to think of something we're grateful for today. And then we all say, my sons are lazy. They're like, I'm grateful for mom. I'm like, you said that yesterday. Think of something different. Oh, God, we're at school already. Anyway, so we tried to do that. And I was like, God, I'm not getting
I
it.
do love that they're trying to take the easy way out, too. That's awesome.
So, but
And it's okay if it's the same thing.
So here's what I do understand, and my
Yeah.
brain does do, and it works. And I think it's the same as gratitude. Is I tell myself, I try to tell myself this every day. What would I pay 20 years in the future to relive today?
Oh my God, I love this.
So to be 20
Yes.
years younger, to have my 10 and 11-year-old sons, to be in this
In the
point,
car.
in the car, to be in this time of my life, and then I think to myself, like,
Damn,
let's
that's a
say,
song, man.
let's say
This is good.
in 20 years in the future, I'm not going to be rich, but I'm like, I probably will have $10,000 in my retirement or whatever. I'd probably pay $10,000 to $20,000 just for the relive this exact day, to have my health, to have my sons in the car, to have this time with my wife, a younger wife. My God.
Yeah.
Right? Look at my hot young wife.
No, you're not wrong. I
and
mean,
then-
it's not something that people typically point
and
out,
then-
but you're not wrong.
And then I'm sure in 20 years there's going to be people in my life that are not alive anymore, and then they're going to be alive now. And I look back and like, if I could tell myself in the future, I would 100% pay $20,000 cash. 100% for this day.
You're right.
I would do it.
You're
and then
right.
I think that day, like, this is a $20,000 day.
Yes.
And that's, is
My
that the
God,
same
you
thing?
could write a book called the $20,000 Day Method,
I
and people would
agree.
eat it
It's
all
going to be
up.
a New York Times
Yeah,
bestseller. Okay,
yeah.
actually, Tom,
Get the Costa Quiet first, though,
I
because it's
li-
written by a real
Yes, buy
professional.
my book
I
first.
had to do
Then
mine.
the
Hers has got some
$20,000.
science in it. Then you can pick up the $20,000.
I didn't even proofread it.
I actually
All
think
AI.
this is amazing, and I
Okay.
think this is gratitude and your perspective taking, which is really hard because of the brain's negativity bias. We get really pulled into the stress of the moment, and I think it's really important too that with gratitude, we're not shaming ourselves, because some people miss like they take it the wrong way, where it's like, you should be grateful, like how dare you feel what you feel. We want to validate our feelings, that our struggles, whether it's over stubbing your toe or being really sick, are valid. Like
Yeah.
everything is relative. So it's not that you shouldn't feel what you feel, but as you hold today's a hard day, it's also, what else do I have going on in my life that's good? And it doesn't have to be what am I grateful for. We can shift it into like, what's good right now? What would I pay 20 grand for in the future, right? Like that I had this hot wife and didn't need Viagra, and here I am in a wheelchair, right? You'd be looking back going, that was pretty damn
just
good.
to spend time with your kids at this age.
Yes.
Like, because when they're,
they're
That's
less
me.
interested. Yeah.
That's
when
listen,
they're 30
my
years old,
kids live on the other side of the world. I would kill to be back in the stage when I spent 3 hours a day in the car shuttling them around in middle school, and
Talking
I was
to 'em.
bitching and
Yeah,
moaning
yeah.
that I had no life. I would kill for that.
Sure.
And that's exactly what you're pointing to. So you're reminding your brain, these things that are hard and a pain in the ass today, these are really good things. And let me take in what's good about it. That's what brings you joy in life, is being able to notice what's good. Have you ever heard of Viktor Frankl and Man's Search for Meaning?
No.
It's the best book ever. He was a psychiatrist. He was in the concentration camps.
If it's a book by a smart person, we haven't heard of it.
This is one that you should read.
We like the Waldo books. They're very fun for us. They're
Okay, it's a little
endless
deeper.
amounts. If that reminds you, you need to get me back my Where's Waldo.
This is the gift I'm giving
borrowed it.
both of you for
Okay.
the holidays. Man's Search for Meaning. It's so good.
Sucks. That's a crappy
But
gift.
oh my god, it is so good.
I
you
want a
guys.
remote control car or like a drone. You got any drones?
I want
got.
I want an airsoft gun.
Yeah, you got any airsofts and drones?
I want that laser that can pop a balloon.
Or how
I'll
about
slip this inside.
yeah? Or how about you just give me access to Pornhub for one day? My God.
All right, sorry.
Okay, no, your gift certificate for Pornhub will come inside the book.
You know what? That's a darn good idea
Isn't
that
it?
they missed.
A way to backdoor some good information.
Yes.
So
but the
what's this
whole
book?
point is this guy was a psychiatrist, psychologist in World War II. He was in a concentration camp and saw immeasurable suffering, but he found a way to find meaning in the small things by noticing things that were good. A small act of kindness from one prisoner to another, and he held on to his mental health. He managed to still find joy even in that circumstance. So there really is, like, we wake up and we're stressed out and we're worried about money and our partner's a pain in the neck and so on and so forth. So it's not that that's not true. It's just also there are good things. Let's take it in. Otherwise, life goes by. And one day we're looking back going, God, look how good I looked and look how great I had it. And I wish I had enjoyed my body and my family. And then it's gone.
The way I look upon the gratitude journal, or at least writing it down, is that for me, and it's really important for somebody like me because, and I missed this in my explanation about alcohol a minute ago. Alcohol does one other thing to me that is very beneficial, is that it seems to, I'm not saying it does, but it seems to slow down time.
Yeah.
And if I'm like here, like if we were doing something and I were doing it and I were having that first beer, my appreciation of it, I think just because of artificial chemicals or because I've increased that, that hedonic threshold, whatever you want to call it, I am, it's fake, right? It's a fake sort of a thing, but it's like that slowing down of time. The gratitude journal forces me to sit down. And it's almost like, like when a printer is printing and how if you want the best quality, you'll have the printer go over what it prints twice. Yeah. It's like you're going over it again in your mind to ensure that you remembered, certain things that happened throughout the day or just an accomplishment. And it truly is, it slows down time.
Yeah.
Because it forces your brain to be in that present moment, even if it's not the current, even if it already passed and you're just a memory. But it forces you to be present and be like literally accountable for each second of that thing you enjoy because you're writing it down and there's no rushing that. You can't rush it. And like even talking about it gives me that little, it's going to give me that little boost, It's going to give me the same thing that the beer gives me, but it's authentic. And it's going to last longer than 22 minutes.
Oh, you are spot on, and it's such a good analogy. I think if you've only experienced that with something assisting you, like alcohol, then it feels like you need that to access it. But it really is possible to experience that without it. We've got to develop the muscle to be able to do that, and that's what mindfulness helps with. But you're right. It's taking it in. Let's just notice and write the cliche, stop and smell the roses. But that takes just a very little habit.
Why do we feel guilty doing that, though?
I don't know. Why do you feel guilty doing that?
To me, it's hard to do.
Seems like a waste of time, right? It's like, why the hell am I doing this? A waste of time. Why am I doing this?
Our super productive society.
Well, because you're like, I got to go home. I got to do this. Tomorrow I got to do this.
Well,
you're always
our
thinking
lists
ahead.
are endless lists.
Yeah, and I do it all the time.
And it feels like pressure on you.
Yeah, you're just like, you're trying to get through life. instead of live life. You're just like the next thing, and the next thing, and next thing, because that's the way you get things accomplished.
Sure.
But the problem is you're just looking at the next thing that you need to do instead of appreciating what the hell you're doing now. Like,
that's it.
You know,
what you just said, trying to get through life instead of trying to live life. I think that's like the problem. Our modern society is broken a little, and we got to fight against it.
Because there's so much to do, Colette,
Right.
and that's where we are. Like, to even get it done, we got to plan it all out and get it done.
And then we're in our head, we're stressed out, we're always on to the next thing, and we're not taking any of it in. I fall victim to that too.
It's hard to, and again, it goes back to just work. And nothing comes easy, and to get this stuff done, you have to just put the little effort into it, but do micro doses of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, take small,
make it super small.
Yeah.
The benefits of all of this, I think that's the good part, is that the benefits of doing a very little bit, writing it down is great, but if you don't want to write it down, think of it. Say 3 things. Do 2 minutes of just sitting and breathing and being present. Like, you could, in under 5 minutes, you could literally get so much stuff done that's good for you by just breathing and being in the present.
Breath work is hard too.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
But
It's
it gets
skill.
easier when you do it.
It's a skill.
You know, it's why I think like religion has taken such hold on humanity, is because praying is a version of this.
Yeah,
and
you're
people would pray because they're like, you know, this
I'll
will
go
help
to
me
hell
get
if I don't.
Yeah, go to hell if I don't. Yeah, but
you
it
gotta have that guilt to get you into it.
It forced them to think about gratitude and to wish well on others.
You're not wrong.
And do a thing, and then it's like, oh, praying is good for you. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing as gratitude or journaling or whatever. It's the same. All falls under the same category.
A practice.
And that's why it, like, everybody's like, I like being religious. Yeah, because all these things work into that.
Yeah.
And it's like all healthier for your brain and psychology.
Can you do me a favor?
Yep.
Because it struck a chord, I think, with Colette and me and the chat room. And I'm being serious when I ask this. Walk me through you driving your sons on the $20,000 day.
What do you mean?
How do you say it? Because people want to do it.
I don't.
They want to
so easy.
They want to practice it because you may not. This would be the first. This would be like the best first step ever. If you can't do the journal, you don't want to go to therapy, whatever. Walk us through how you do the $20,000.
What would you say to yourself?
Okay, it's
just so we can.
It's all logical
because I want to practice.
It's all logical. I go back 10 years. My sons are 1 and 2 years old.
Okay.
Right. God, how old are they? I forgot now. Anyway, so they're 1 and 2.
They're 11 and 10.
So I can even find pictures on my phone of them 1 and 2. Right. So I think to myself, I'm like, man, 10 years ago, 1 and 2 year old son, like that playing like that,
babies.
Like I think trying to remember was just one random day and around that era. Like and there's like some Sunday I'm playing with my 1 and 2 year olds and like or like I get up in the middle of the night because one of them's scared and then I'm just sitting there on the couch holding them and they fall asleep in my arms and I'm like, oh, I gotta wake up early tomorrow, whatever. But all that stuff, I'm like, and then I look at my sons now and I'm like, man, what would I pay to go back to that day when they were 1 and 2 or like you know, and then
you're reframing how precious that current day is in my mind. That's
in
what
the moment,
right? He's in the moment saying, "Oh, this day is so precious."
And then I literally try to calculate. I'm like, based on how much savings I've got and what is, and then I'm like, oh God, like right now, currently, like, man, I think I would pay like $8,800.
That's where it gets off the rails like a Tom thing. He's got to get an exact number, but I love it too.
And then I'm like, do I get the whole
I'm just
day?
gonna say 20,000, but that's fine.
I'm like, there's a night when they sleep count. I go through all these scenarios, and then I'm like, what? And I don't get to change the day. All I get is that
the
boring.
Chat room is all screaming $8,800. That's when he gets weird. That's when he
because
gets weird.
I don't get to change the day. It's not like I get to take them to Disney World. I get that boring ass day where I just stayed at home and they did some stuff.
But what is the value of that?
But what's the value of that? And then I come to a conclusion, and then I think to myself, I would pay right now if a genie came down $8,800.
Genie, that's the genie.
And then I'm like, oh man, I remember that day, and it was it was just like a regular day with a stressful 1 and 2 year old that was waking up in the middle of the night and I wasn't getting to sleep and stuff. But I'm like, man, this is an $8,800 day. And then I think to myself, well, today is got in my future self, I'll be richer. I think just from compound interest. Anyway, that'll be a $20,000 day today.
Yeah.
So this boring ass day that I'm stressed out is a $20,000
so
day.
give it value.
And then
so notice it now.
It's
Don't
true.
wait
So
till
respect
20
it.
years.
It has to be.
So respect the day,
And
or
when-
respect yourself, respect your relationship.
The day.
It has to, in 100%, it has to be true. It has to be true.
You know, this is
It's true
so.
to everybody.
I love
This
your
is
weird
so
analogy.
great.
That's a really dumb weird, and I
But
love
it's
it.
true. It
I
has
think it's
to.
a brilliant
I love it.
concept because, you know, as I listened to you and I applied it to myself, you actually helped me psychologically.
Oh, no,
in
now
this
he's got a
moment
favor
with
on you.
us.
He's writing that down. He's writing that down so he can text you in the middle of the night. I'm drunk at Post Time Lounge. Come pick me up. Anybody can
You
see this.
owe me, Colette. Yeah, no.
I am locked out of Lyft and Uber. Forgot my password.
All I
need a
heard
ride.
is I'm just as good as a therapist with 20 years experience.
There you go. You don't even need to go to grad school. You got it locked and
I'm
loaded.
joking.
No, I think it's the perspective.
perfect.
It's the perspective, because I just thought about in 20 years, like, I'm so stressed out with this book launch. It's so hard if you're not doing it to even realize why it would feel as like important and heavy and pressure filled, like your publisher, blah, blah, blah.
How expensive is this day, you launching this book?
Right.
How much money would you throw
when
on it?
I'm in my 70s and I'm looking back, I would probably say to my younger self, oh my God, Colette, who cares what your publisher, blah, blah. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
You worked hard. You're going to help people. Don't sweat the small stuff. You're able to run around in high heels, right? Maybe in 20 years, I won't even be able to wear heels. This will be I would look back probably and say, this is so fun and exciting, and I'm on the cusp of helping so many more people. Enjoy it. Instead of being in the weeds of all the stress. So it's the perspective piece of this is a really great way to shift into gratitude. And I think this is something everybody can use.
And this is important to say. Robert, our buddy, gay Robert, we love him. He says, one of the deepest and emotional-driven concepts Tom has ever expressed on the show. I am impressed and very proud of him.
I agree.
And I'm not reading that as if a joke. We got to get better at him sitting in the compliment. You got to sit in the compliment.
Sit and take the compliment
gotta
in,
take
damn
that.
it, right now.
Take your compliment.
I stole it off TikTok. I was like, that's good. I'm going to use that one. Oh, I'm joking. That one,
even if you
it resonated
did, who
with me.
cares?
Yeah, no.
It's amazing. It's so good.
Well, yeah, it resonated with me because that one I understood.
I love it.
More than gratitude, because I tried, and then that one clicked.
But it is gratitude.
I know,
it's
exactly
just a
the same
better
thing.
way to shift you into it for some people. Like for me, I think it is more helpful. You're painting a picture and you're reminding yourself, hey, this thing that's stressing me out today might be something that one day I wish I could be sitting in this moment again. So let me enjoy it now.
And I often, like every once in a while, there'll be people that having a rough time. I know people in my life that have cancer and have horrible things happen to them, and I say it to them too. And because it's hard to talk to someone dealing with cancer and even sympathize with it because you're not in that situation.
Right, and you have no idea.
And you have no idea. But I do think, and I will say to them, like, you're alive today. And then at the very least, you cannot say that when you're dead or when you're about to die. No matter what, you would, like, and everybody's going to die. And right before you die, you'd be like, man, I'd give everything to go back to this day, even though I had cancer. But I'm alive.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so no matter what, you can always go back in the future and appreciate where you were.
There's
in the past.
always something good.
There's always.
Yeah, there really is. So
just the baseline of being alive is one of it. You're like, hey, I'm alive today.
And usually when I do gratitudes, that is something I say. Like, I'm alive and I'm healthy. Like, that is such a gift. But one thing I want to say, too, is that we have to be careful and let people come to their own gratitudes, because it can fall onto, and I've gone into this with my husband, where he'll try to, like, almost, if he's upset about something, he'll try to be like, well, at least I'm not this, this, and this. And then he'll try to say stuff like that to me. And I'm like, no, that feels invalidating. You know what I mean? So telling somebody else, you should be, we try to make people feel better sometimes by saying, oh, but look at like, blah, blah, like you have all this going for you.
It could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. It's really an inside job that you have to come to your own real, because otherwise this can fall. There's a very fine line between.
It's hard to receive that message when other people are saying it.
It can feel invalidating if you don't, because because
their intent is good too.
Yes,
100%.
But if you stubbed your toe, right, to use the most ridiculous example, and you have a friend who has cancer, they're not comparable. But if you stubbed your toe, you're still in pain in that moment, and your pain is still valid. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So there are some simple things you could do this year that I feel like, and even if you did them once a month, it's something.
I agree.
Like, everything is something. And then,
Your vote counts.
But there is no, I mean, like, you gave some really good ones, man. Like, I like those.
I agree.
I like that.
And every little bit, it doesn't have to be big.
I also like the fact that the car, for some reason, the fact that it's like, it's getting me. Like, I like the fact that it's in the car and you're like driving your kids and it's like almost like a routine of doing it. So it's almost like being in the car will activate that. So you always go there, like you're starting your day, like kind of thinking about how much your family is worth to you. I don't know. That's very special.
I love it. And you know what, Tom? Your kids are going to remember this.
They will.
They
More than
are.
anything
I have
else they do.
goosebumps.
That's going to hurt his heart, though, because they're not going to remember any expensive trip, but they're going to remember a small ride to school.
True.
I will find you and tell you they don't remember in 20 years when I ask them, you remember when I did this? They're like, no, what the hell are you talking about?
Go away.
They're like, oh, that was wrong.
I guarantee
I'm gonna
they're
find
gonna remember.
What mansion you live in?
Her robot
They will
butler.
also remember everything you did to screw them up. Believe me, my kids were like, remember the time that you chain smoked cigarettes while we had a nightmare?
I knew
Why do they
I
remember
knew
that
I
other
liked
band?
Colette. I know I liked her. I didn't know you were a smoker.
They'll never. Oh
Yeah.
God, I was a smoker for a long
Me too.
time. Talk about a crutch that's unhealthy.
What was your favorite? What was your
Marlboro
poison?
Lights? Marlboro Lights.
Marlboro Light
no.
menthols over here.
We should do a
Oh, see, I hated menthols.
I'm one notch faster.
I was a smoker too. So let's all
talk
smoke
about,
together.
I know, right? But talk about something that used to, like, I started smoking as a kid, like 12 years old, because you could get cigarettes everywhere in New York.
That's a real New York kid.
Yeah, you could get them in the vending machine.
I got these cigarettes.
That's how we were.
Let's
and
go
that,
smoke 'em.
Instead of feeling difficult feelings,
Let's ride by
I
the
would
deli and
smoke.
steal some prosciutto.
But that's actually
Would
could
you guys
be
do
a
that?
scene from
Let's
my
get on
life.
a bike, smoke cigarettes, go steal some prosciutto with Colette.
I mean, maybe we didn't steal prosciutto,
Oh,
but
look,
we did.
it's
We stole.
It's the
we
Rizzoli
stole,
boys.
we
Let's
stole.
get out of here. I don't know. Like, those are the bullies of the neighborhood, the Rizzolis.
Yes. So we don't need these crutches the way we think if we can do some of this simple stuff that we're talking about.
Love it.
Colette, plug your book right now before we leave.
The Cost of Quiet, How to Have the Hard Conversations That Create Secure, Lasting Love. This will help you in your relationships with other people, but also with yourself. It's coming out February 3rd. You can pre-order it now. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, on my website, ColetteJaneFair.com.
I'm starting to feel like it's all about ourselves, and if we fix ourselves, then maybe we'll fix the other relationship.
Imagine
but call
that,
me
Dan.
crazy. I know. I might be figuring it out.
Plug the
You are
event
right.
at the Mercedes-Benz dealership
Yes.
in
Oh my
Maitland.
God. Come join me. There's also tickets for this on my website. We're going to be doing a special VIP launch event on Thursday, January 29th at Mercedes-Benz. You guys are going to be there. We're going to have lots of community and special guests. We're going to do some live podcast recording. You can talk to us in person and celebrate the launch of my book. So please come out.
That's in Maitland and the Mercedes-Benz dealership.
Yeah, and the
So-
tickets are on my website, ColetteJaneFair.com.
There you go.
Perfect. All right, we will see you next week.
All right. We're still on Twitch and YouTube.
That's it.